Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. Well, I've had some fabulous interviews. As you can tell, each one is very different. I don't pre-interview, so it's kind of a surprise when they come on my red couch, which I love, to find out exactly where they're at, what they're doing, and how they make a living, and how they enjoy life. And I had this wonderful woman from Venice, and now I've got Chris from Jersey.
From Jersey.
So you're a Jersey boy.
I'm
so
officially a Jersey
Chris
boy.
the Jersey boy. So he's not from the Jersey Boys, the show. No. He's actually from Jersey.
That is correct.
And what was this thing you were telling me about your hat? What is this thing?
So this is a very famous logo here, and the logo is Deadpool, who's a comic character.
Oh.
Which a lot of people know.
Yes.
I don't know if you enjoy comics at all.
I love comics. Are you kidding?
So
nothing I have a little laugh. We've got to have some laughs in life. I mean, you know.
So who is your favorite? Can I ask you real quick?
My favorite comedian, but we're going back many years.
Yeah.
Was Shecky Green. Shecky Green was one of, because I'm going back into all these sort of the older ones,
yes.
But sort of, you know, but they had such talent and such presence on stage.
Yes.
Were absolutely amazing. I still see a little of that, but not as much as it used to be.
Not as much.
I mean, before there used to be a real act, I mean, a real big act.
Yeah.
Like Shecky Green was a big act. I believe he played at the Riviera. I'm not quite sure. I think it was the Riviera. Okay. But he was very big. And I mean, he would have audiences that he was. And I don't see that as much now.
It's different.
It's different. Well, that's the word.
That's the word.
Yeah.
So Deadpool is a character that has a certain kind of satire and comic value to what he does in the comic book realm.
Okay.
And I'm a DJ and a producer who just so happens to have loved comic books when I was a kid. Okay. And my other passion at that time was, unfortunately, it was one of those things until I got turntables to play, I would play the piano.
Oh, how
so
lovely.
I learned how to musically deal with all the ideas in my head.
Do you ever have a comic book called Beano?
No. Is it good?
Well, Beano was in England. There was this Beano, this book called Beano. Well, I don't know if it was comic or not, but we kind of counted it as comic. But that was an English thing.
You grew up in England?
I grew up in England, yes.
Okay.
Not Jersey.
Not Jersey.
No.
I'm
not a Jersey. Parker.
So
that's English.
That's English.
So who was?
My father.
Your father.
My mom is from Sicily.
From Sicily?
Palermo.
Oh, really? Palermo, I know it.
Don't ask me how that
Don't
happened.
worry. No, don't worry. I'll make an excuse. I'll tell you
okay,
why.
Tell me.
I'll tell you why. I'm English, and I married an Italian.
There you go.
From Sausalito.
Now I get it.
That's right, we're actually from Boston, but his parents lived in Sausalito.
So my parents were able to take all of this energy that I had as a kid, ADD, couldn't sit still, and say, well, he does have a lot of ideas with music, so let's see if we can somehow, some way, get him on a piano. Well, sitting down on a piano and learning the chords, as much as I know how to play music and do things, they said, let's get him turntables. So my sisters decided to get me turntables when I was younger, and as a result of that, I was able to learn how to DJ. And really start to take some of those ideas that I knew. Did you start
to understand this as something you were going to do?
I did, in a way that was different from most.
That kind of came in a funny way.
It did. So what happened was the type of the music that I was, because everyone was exposed to different music as children.
Of course, yeah.
Now my father and my mother had two different tastes, very different tastes.
Well, yeah, one was the Italian and one was the English. Hello.
So my mother had spent time with me to get me to know the Beatles.
Sit down.
Know the Beatles. Know the Beatles by sitting down.
Yes.
Understanding the beautiful bridges that they had and the different dynamics.
Yes,
so I started to take it all in, and instead of just interpreting it, I started to use the turntables and remixed it, different songs together. So I started coming up with ideas where I would say, you know what, it might not be, I might not understand the exact key scale, but you know what, the Beatles can be mixed with the Doors. And if you had like a beat, like an instrumental with it, you can start to remix. And I started coming up with...
Now let me ask you a question, because this has bothered me sometime with all these DJs that seem to mix this music that's out there that belongs to somebody else, and you're coming along creating something totally different. So putting the Doors and the Beatles together, would that not be a sort of
excellent question
problem?
So yes, I mean, most likely what you're getting there is if you...
Cocktails, please.
Yes, I'll have a cocktail.
What would you like?
You pick for me.
Okay.
So what would happen
Martini.
is Martini. So what would happen would be, as long as I am, if let's say in this case it's the Beatles and the Doors.
Yes, you put
copywritten music,
yes,
right? They own it.
They own it.
But if you're DJing, it's a form of expression. It's not. You're not reselling it. So in essence, at that time, before I started
you're not
writing,
recording it.
No. You're doing live sets. So it was just ideas, just to give you. Yeah. So really, for me, it was much more about being able to say, "Holy crap! I can actually mix the Beatles, and it sounds good if I put a drum beat on it, and if I put this in to the Doors." And there's a similar DJ. Maybe you know his name. He unfortunately passed away. His name was DJ AM.
Oh yes, I did. Yes.
He was the one that inspired me to be the DJ that I am today. And he was able to knock down musical barriers where he was able to keep white people in the room, black people, Latin. It didn't matter. But he played music that fit
create everybody.
Yes.
You went after everybody, which is actually what you really should do.
Which you really
because
should do.
You can't really sort of, imagine having all English music out there, which would be all, I mean, I love the English, I'm English, but at the same time, duh.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, don't agree too much. Hang in there. I mean, come on.
I'll give it time.
Give me time. Oh, so you have a sense of humor.
Oh, the best sense of humor. Hopefully, as a DJ, the best.
Oh, the DJ. I was going to say.
I don't take myself too seriously.
Okay, so you're up there as a DJ now. I know DJs now have to kind of have personalities. They have to remix this music, which is not recorded, so it's all legal. Mm-hmm. And so, what makes you try to be different than everybody else? Because you want to be on top there as a DJ, and also I understand. I don't know if there's so much now.
Sure.
But used to be paid a lot of money.
Well, now they're paid even more money. So you see the billboards now with giant guys with giant marshmallow heads and all these different characters that are DJs.
Yes.
So I'm in that realm of EDM, electronic dance music, where it's a $12.1 billion industry. If you combine, think about that. If you take all the genres of the music, it doesn't even come close to what electronic dance music is, because electronic dance music is global.
Well,
right?
it is global, but isn't it also one person can do it?
And one person can do it.
When you don't have to have a band, they don't have to all turn up.
Correct.
Half of them are drugged up, half of them are still sleeping, and the gig's all over.
The gig's all over. So Calvin Harris just signed a $250 million deal with the Hakkasan group. So these DJs today, as I aspire to be one, that is on that level.
Goodbye hosting, I'm going to become a DJ. No, I'm going to become
Seriously.
A DJ out
so
there.
I guess to answer the question with how it came full circle for me was I got a little bit tired of playing other people's music as a young musician.
You're still young, but that's okay.
And I decided to say, I'm going to learn how to write my own music.
Oh,
so
wow.
I became a triple threat in that way, where I write my own lyrics, I write my own songs, and I DJ.
Do you actually put them all together? Do you actually do the production?
I do. The only thing I don't do is the mastering on the track.
I know what the mastering is, but explain what the mastering is.
So the process of mixing a track versus mastering a track. So let's say I take 5 parts of a song, which is the percussion, right? I take the chords or let's say the melody, the harmonies, and I mix them. Well, in order to get it to set out on a radio, it's called like a radio loudness. They call it. There's a mastering process, which is a lot of compression and making sure that the crystal clarity comes
So it comes out really clear?
Yes.
Okay.
So I use a studio that's in Vegas. It's a very famous studio, great studio, Studio DMI, which was in the Wynn Hotel. They have their own studio now.
And this guy wants the best all the time, and that's where you get to the best.
That's the thing. I think I paid my dues. Everyone has to pay their dues. I mean,
we all do. Everybody pays their dues. I don't care who you are. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be, I don't care. You can be whatever color, whatever nationality you are. Doesn't make any difference.
There's no other way.
No, there isn't.
And it's the right way if you do it as long as you're not knocking down people in the wrong way. I think paying your dues, at least for me and my story, was I was a ghostwriter. So I would write songs and watch my songs go and be successful. They make all the money, and I'd make okay, well I can at least pay for my meals, and
fish
pay
and
for my
chips.
rent and fish and chips.
Fish and chips. Exactly. I know you've had fish and chips.
And diners, we have diners.
Oh, diners,
in Jersey.
Diners in New Jersey.
So it was a big deal for me to eventually get out of that contract. So now my first song came out last week. So
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Where's it going? Is it getting up?
It's starting to get some exposure. Columbia is publishing it, so it's going to go out to hopefully a big demographic. and my manager Lana is trying to get it to the masses, but it's hard to get. It's so much music today.
Well, I was going to say we've got also because of the internet, and
much.
everybody has the same chance.
Exactly.
Everybody has the same chance on this social media thing.
It's a great level playing field, but
everybody can get into it. So now you've got to be better or different or whatever the case may be.
100%.
You're different,
and I'm different. And thank you for saying that, because the difference I think with all of these DJs, it's a brand. It's become a brand. And for me, I'm going to be the first DJ that's going to merge the comic world with.
I love it.
With music and EDM. So it's already the bravado of EDM is, guys wearing marshmallow hats, guys, Frenchmen wearing sunglasses at night. So there's always all these brands. So my idea is to start creating a comic series that allows all the DJs to have this, and that's not going to be a serious one.
No. It can't be with you. It's comic.
Yes.
It's comic.
Yes.
There's one thing I love about Jerzey Boy, Chris, is that I think the way and why you've got where you've got is you believe in yourself.
I do.
You believe in yourself, as of what he told me as a young boy.
Yeah.
And how you sort of, you had the ADD, which I think a lot of people in my time also had ADD or whatever, ADHD, whatever you call it, but it wasn't recognized then. We have people that have more energy than other people.
It's so true.
Why do we all want to be the same anyway?
What you just said is so important, and I know everyone advocates for different kinds of awarenesses, but with ADD, and I appreciate you saying that, because it's now become, they can study the brain a little differently, so they can actually say, no, people that just say they have ADD.
They don't have it, and I tell them, I say, please parents, do not give them all this medication. I'm so much against this medication.
It's insane
because
how much
with the medication, any medication you give, majority of it has cocaine in it.
Yes.
Now when it has cocaine in it, it means from 9 or from 8 or from 6 or from 5, you start giving your child this medication, by the time the child is 15, it's an addict.
It's almost like a hidden thing. That
I know it's a hidden thing. I know what it is, because I had another show that I used to know all about
and
this.
It's terrible.
It is terrible. But what I love about you, Chris, Jerzey Boy, is that you've taken on your own persona, you've taken on yourself, and you've used all the things that probably everybody said against you.
That's it. Being from Jersey, you're already batting.
You already got a number on you. You already got
anywhere where Snooki's from. They're like, yo, we got Frank Sinatra too. We got a lot of good people from Jersey.
Well, we got another one. We've got another one now, Chris. You're another one. Yeah, you're another good one. You're another one coming up. But you do believe in yourself.
I do.
And you're creating your own music. He's creating his own movements. You're creating everything.
Yes.
So you're becoming an individual. When you said about Frank Sinatra, Frank Sinatra did the same thing. Frank Sinatra became Frank Sinatra because he believed in who he was, and he did it his way. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Thank you. That's great.
But
that was right on cue, too.
Wasn't it? Right on cue. But I think that's where you're going, and I really admire that. And I think your message to other people out there is, don't be afraid to be you.
Yes, absolutely. And it also comes down to the DJs that are now presenting themselves as these DJs, and it's not to say to knock anyone off, because people call me the Deadpool of DJs because I have a way of being, let's just say, I don't want to say a little satire in my humor. I spend a lot of time with a lot of the Instagram stuff that I do.
I love it.
I really spend a lot of time challenging these guys, like DJ Snake and all these guys, because for me, the most important thing is to keep the music growing. And, maybe it's an American thing. We like challenge.
Oh, I think so, definitely.
You know what I mean?
You do.
And competitiveness.
You like challenge.
Competitiveness, absolutely. But what makes me, I think, very different is I want the bedroom producer, the guy that's like 12 years old who's trying to figure out whether he could do this, to not always see DJs as this, now that it's become so big.
Correct.
On airplanes and these, I want them to see somebody.
The ground level.
Yes. My goal is to prevent it.
How it really is.
Yes.
How the real way of being a DJ.
To know that the humor and that yes, you could take yourself seriously.
You bring humor into anything.
I promise you, if I didn't laugh, I'd be crying all the time. So I might as well laugh.
You might as well laugh. It's funny because I'm the same way. Exactly the same way. I'm a very positive person.
Yes.
I look at things in a very different way to most people, but I look at them as it's a real thing that happened, or maybe it's not real, but I look at it as a happening. Now, what do we do? It's good, it's bad, it's whatever it is.
You have
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it too much, because in an hour, it's all gone.
It is.
It's all gone.
And it's the energy that you give, I think, is a very positive energy that a lot of people read it different ways. But for me, even just not knowing the full industry, I really appreciate, even the Frank Sinatra thing. I love, he's from Jersey, Hoboken. But it's like, thank you so much, because Frank Sinatra is one of my,
I met him.
I know,
I spoke to him.
I was hearing.
I had a fabulous conversation with him, but to me, he was Frank. I mean,
very upfront. That's who we are.
I mean, because and he was.
Yes.
And we were just chit-chatting. Because I was from Europe and I knew about Europe, and he loved Europe, so we had this whole thing going.
He was very real, right?
He was so well. To me, at that time, he was real. I don't know how real he was with other people. I can't say that, but when we were talking, yes, he was very, very real.
Yeah.
How can people get hold of you, and how can they book you? Because I think Jerzey Boy, Chris, is fabulous. How can they get to you?
So right now on Instagram, it's Jerzey Boy. Is it underscores? The Deadpool of DJs, or not the Deadpool, just Deadpool of DJs. So Instagram is one way, on Facebook, and then my new song is with Michaela Shiloh, and it's called Yesterday. It was inspired. It's not in any way the Beatles' Yesterday, but it was for me.
Yesterday.
Yes. So my start, Yesterday, Come Back to Me. I wrote the lyrics to it. I did everything.
It's yours. It's
mine,
yours.
100%.
It's his 100%. That's the greatest thing you can do in the music business,
it's
or any business. It's the hardest thing. But if you write your own stuff and you have your own lyrics and you have everything,
yes, it's so true.
That's going to be your number one, because nobody can take it from you, because it's yours.
Thank you for saying that.
And that's how the Beatles and all these people made it so big, because it was their song.
And they controlled their destiny in that way.
Yes.
It was a hard road to get here, and I think, I'm still
but what a great road! What a great road!
And just little things like this make
to
me
accomplish
feel like it's all possible.
To accomplish something is absolutely the most amazing thing. Sometimes it's not always, and I always say this a lot, it's not always to do with money.
It's got nothing to do with money, because it won't last long enough for you, because passion turns into perseverance. Remember that. And for me, I learned that perseverance eventually doesn't mean you're happy, but when you get to the point where somebody's playing your song, or a little girl that may be sick, I know I'm saying this because it's almost something that just came into my head. If a little girl ever sang my song and just forgot about her sickness and that's what pop music
just for 3 minutes.
Just for 3 minutes. Then all the pain for 7 years goes away.
Yeah.
It would all be worth it to me.
And it is worth it, and life is definitely worth it. So don't count yourself too low. Always build yourself up. Put a smile on your face. Just be happy.
And the power of music.
And the power of music will never go away. And
No.
of course, we're in the music. We're in Vegas. Obviously, this is the music industry of the world. Don't forget to go to YouTube, subscribe to Vegas Live with Ninon, because without you, I don't have a show. So, hey guys, get out there.
She's the best.
I love it.
Awesome.
Well, we've had fabulous interviews. They've all been one after the other. It's been better and better and better, but they're all good. They're all wonderful. And thank you out there for wanting to be a guest and for joining Vegas Live with me. Thank you, Steve. That's my producer today. He's done so much, and he's always there for me. We are actually going to be filming Gator. I think it was Gator. Gator. Valencia.
Valencia.
I don't have her cup. Anyway, I'm saying the whole thing wrong. Anyway, she's appearing at the Smith Center on March the 28th, and we're going to be down there filming. Steve has actually said yes, he would love to go down there and film. Maybe you'll be down there. Maybe we'll all go down there and see this incredible, wonderful singer. And you've got her right, Valenti.
Was that the woman that was...
The woman with his hair. She sang at Carnegie Hall.
She gave you like a little tease of that French song. That's the only French song I like.
Yes, that was it's a fabulous one.
It's
yes,
a great one.
I wanted her to sing La Marquise
I was getting
She La Vina Rose, I think it was what she sang. And so it was wonderful. But we've had a wonderful time. Chris,
you
are
so
amazing.
Much for being so gracious and everything.
So we're going to get a cover. How about that? I love it.
Thank
He's
you.
amazing. We'll be right back next week. Vegas Live with Ninon.
Peace.